All right, Samori Benjamin here with a New Yorker, Pittsburgh Pirate, Joshua Palacios. Joshua, thank you for joining me, man. It's great meeting you. Welcome back home.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's good to be back home, baby. It's nice.
Yeah, and I was talking to your brother about 2 months ago. He told me you all grew up Yankee fans. So what's it like when you come here? You played for Pittsburgh, so you all don't come here a lot either. So what's it like coming here to the Bronx to play?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's a dream come true. I always thought about playing with the Yankees. Playing against the Yankees here. And grew up a Yankee fan, but after they struck me out in the big leagues, kind of ended the fandom right there. So now they're the enemy, but it's cool to be home, have the family surrounding us, and just have good energy around.
You know, I always wonder what it's like for you ball players who grew up a fan of a certain team, and then you get drafted, and then you got to turn it off. But I wonder what that's like, because that definitely seems like it can be difficult. But so there's not a lot of ball players from New York City who were in the major leagues or in the NBA and the NFL. There's not a lot of you all. So congrats on making it here, man.
Thank you, man.
It's really impressive. You grew up in Brooklyn, right?
Yes, sir.
So how did you get into the game in Brooklyn growing up?
It's like a family business for us. My dad actually played in the minor leagues. My uncle played in the major leagues. So I had the family camaraderie. I played growing up with the Brooklyn Bonnies. There was a great organization. They had a lot of programs for young kids. So I started off young there and played in the PGL, worked my way up the ranks.
Yeah, I think BJ Lopez went play with the Brooklyn Bonnies.
He was on my team.
Okay, nice.
So BJ actually came from Puerto Rico. When he got to Brooklyn, the first team he was on was my team. It was coached by my dad. And then after that, I went to the Sale Grays. But shout out to those two great organizations doing a lot of things for the kids in the city.
You know, because I interviewed him about 2 months ago. First time meeting him, he told me about all that. Wow, so I didn't know you all knew each other.
Yeah, that's my dog. He was on my team, which is crazy.
Wow,
Small world.
It's very dope, man. It's very dope. So, what do you remember just the competition level being like in the city when you were traveling around as a kid?
I mean, the competition was great in the city. It was always energetic. Every game was like the World Series. He was always getting after it. So it kind of built that competitive drive and hunger. And it's New York, so everybody talking crap on the side, joking around and everything. And everybody wants to be the best. So I think it helped me become the man I am today.
Yeah, this may be hard for you to really pinpoint, but like I said, there's not a lot of New Yorkers who we see in the major leagues, but I'm from New York. I grew up here. A lot of talent, all over the borough. Why do you think there's not more New Yorkers in the major leagues?
I think we got to get more people into New York to see us. Like when I was playing, it was a little time ago, but it was hard to get scouts and colleges to come to New York. Everybody wants to just sit there and down south and wait for people to come, but it costs a lot of money to do that. For instance, my teams couldn't afford to go to Perfect Game. We never went to Perfect Game. We just stood in the tri-state area. So I think if we get more attention, more scouts, more coaches, more awareness out here, I think we'll get a lot more guys playing the game and being able to do more things.
Now, you originally, out of high school, got drafted in like the 31st round, something like that, right? By Cincinnati. That was like 2014, right?
Yes.
And so you turned it down. Very interesting, because you ended up going to junior college in Texas.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, because a lot of people who get drafted like that, they would take it instead of going to a junior college. So instead of you taking that route immediately, you believed in yourself, went to a junior college, which is not an easy road to the major league. So what made you decide to do that?
I had great parents and an uncle and coaches, and Darryl Tebow just advising me and seeing a lot of stuff happen. And you want to make that draft that best opportunity that you can get when you go to play professional baseball. So at the time, I thought it'd be better if I continue to further my education and play baseball at the same time and develop and give myself a better shot at getting drafted higher.
Yeah, and the only way you can do that is for you to excel on the playing field, and you go down to Texas. Not easy. So how was that experience for you?
It was a good experience because I got to see different type of competition. Got to face college guys, seen a lot of guys throwing 100 and 95. That league was absolutely no joke. It also got me away from home, helped me become a little more of a man on my own. And I had a great experience and developed greatly over there.
Yeah, and then you became part of Charles Barkley's family at Auburn. Went to Auburn there. Charles always talking about Auburn. And so how was that experience going to Auburn?
Oh, it was sick. I mean, it was top of the line. It's like the closest thing you're going to get to the major leagues. For the kids out there, the top level of college is like, it's like the league, man. You got good place to eat. You got a batting cage. The clubhouses are amazing. You're traveling, and it's a lot of fanfare and everything. So it's a blessing to play in a league like that.
Yeah, SEC. There's a lot of guys who are playing in the major leagues now who went to the SEC schools, LSU, Tennessee, all of them, Vanderbilt. What was it like playing against that competition and seeing those guys now in the major leagues?
It's pretty cool. One of the guys I actually played against was Brian Reynolds at Vanderbilt that year, and now I'm playing on the same team with him in the Major League. So it's a good experience. I got to see where I leveled up, and I realized that, hey, I always kind of knew it, but I got to validate, like, hey, I'm good enough to play at these levels, and it just motivated me to keep going.
Yeah, Brian Reynolds, shout out to him. So
yes, sir.
My first time ever in Texas was the All-Star game this year, and I actually interviewed Brian Reynolds before the game. So
wow, yeah, shout out B-Ray, shout out B-Ray, my guy.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, I mean, so you get drafted then in 2016 by Toronto, right?
Yeah.
So 4th round. So what was that feeling like for you to be able to have that happen for you at that time?
It was a blessing. I mean, I was working really hard. I had a great year at Auburn, so we expected some type of draft, and I was just excited to get into professional baseball, join that like small fraternity, and I went in there with the mindset of, hey, I want to make it to major leagues, try to develop as much as I can, put my head down and work hard.
Now let me ask you, growing up in New York, did you know everybody has dreams of making it into the big leagues, but at what point in your life, maybe it was in New York growing up, maybe it was in college, did you think that you had a real shot of making it here?
Honestly, I always believed it deep down inside. I mean, my dad did it, my uncle did it. I had 2 people that I knew that played professional baseball. So that kind of helped further the dream. And then watching other guys like Manny Ramirez in the show, watching Dilla Betances make it, I was always looking up to guys that made it happen to say, hey, this is real, like it's not impossible. And then I also trusted God and worked really hard. And when you see those things, you have the trust and the faith, you can make anything happen.
I'm sorry, I meant to say this. You won the New York City High School Player of the Year, right?
Yes, I did.
In 2013, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So what was that like, just getting that, but also playing in the PSAL?
It was pretty cool. It was a fun experience. You got a lot of history there. I mean, we played Norman Thomas, and R.P. Merver was coaching on the other side. He recently just passed away. It was a great experience. My team were undefeated. We won the championship that year. Wow. Shout out to Ed DeLessia. He put together a great team, did some great development over there. And those things were great lessons that I took with me farther in life.
And you went to school in Baylor?
Yeah, high school of telecommunications.
Okay. Did you have a favorite player growing up?
Favorite player is Derek Jeter, man.
No doubt. Yeah, so many of you guys. So many of you guys. Yeah. Okay, so minor league experience, not easy, a grind. So how was that experience for you?
It's not, like you said, it's not easy. It's a lot of traveling. You're away from home. But I was blessed to be there. I was blessed to have the opportunity, and I try to learn as much as possible from all the professionals and all the guys around me, and just try to be like a sponge and soak up as much information as possible and just continue to get better. And as a side effect of that, you move up the levels and you perform.
So 2021, you made your debut with the Blue Jays. What do you remember just about getting the call that you were going to make your debut, and what do you remember just about playing in that game?
Oh man, I remember pretty much the whole day. It was funny. I got called up. My manager called me in the office like if I was in trouble. I ran in there and he started screaming at me. I didn't know what was happening. And then he joked around and said I was getting called up. And it was a beautiful day. I was excited, and I was even more excited for my parents that sacrificed so much to let me live out my dream. And then I was able to kind of give this back to them and experience that first day in the major leagues. It was an absolute blessing.
What do you remember about your first hit?
I remember it was a bunt, and shout out to J.D. Davis. My boy stealing second. I dropped the bunt. He confused the third baseman and got me my first hit right there. Shout out to my boy. What an experience, man.
Yeah, and what's it like? I told you that I interviewed your brother earlier in the season, about 2 months ago or so. So what's it like? Yeah, just what was it like having a younger brother who was really good and playing with you, and to have him, he definitely inspired by you, and have him now in the major leagues?
I mean, it's a blessing. It's a dream come true. Growing up, we was always talking about playing in the major leagues, playing in the major leagues at the same time and doing things. And now that I'm living the dream, and I have my brother living the dream as well, there's nothing else that I can ask for. I'm just so thankful. I thank God every day that we have this opportunity to do this.
Was there a pitcher who you watched growing up and you were just amazed by that you got a chance to face as a major leaguer?
I'm trying to think here. I faced a lot of good guys. I remember DeGrom, they had all this stuff going on with DeGrom, with the Mets and everything. My grandfather's a Mets fan. I watched a lot. And then I got to face DeGrom. And I also faced Cole, too, as well, who I've watched on TV a lot. And now they just guys on the other team, which is a pretty good experience now.
Were you a fan of the other sports at all growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Knicks fan, man.
I'm down.
Knicks tape, bang bong, we here, you know.
Yeah. That was my question. If you were a Knicks fan, definitely.
Giants too, we down bad, but the Knicks, we here.
Definitely. Big year coming up. Okay, 2 more for you. Who's the most talented player you've ever played with?
Wow, that's a great question. I've played with a lot. I mean, O'Neal Cruz is up there. His ability, he can do a lot of things. It's absolutely ridiculous. Then I got Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as well as some of the best players that I've ever got to play on a team with.
Your mother's from Carousel, right?
Yes.
You know what? I interviewed about a month ago the first Carousel ball players to play in the Major Leagues, a Yankee, Hensley Bam Bam Mullins, and then about 2 weeks ago I was talking with Kenley Jansen and all that. And so I know you played for the Netherlands and WBC, you and your brother.
Yes.
So what was that experience like?
It was a crazy experience. We got to go to the other side of the world, go to Taiwan, get some at-bats, and it was cool to be able to play on the same team as my brother, which is another bucket list situation. So I had a good time there, and I can't wait to do it again.
Last one for you, Joshua. So you're back home in the Bronx, a stadium where you grew up, coming and seeing the Yankees and all that. You remember their World Series championship in '09. Family's here, I'm sure. So what are you looking forward to the most as last series of the 2024 season here at home?
Looking most forward to winning with the boys. 3 games, we got 3 games left, we get 3 wins, and enjoy it with the boys.
Yeah, man. So no longer back in the day when you were a kid, all business now. You're trying to beat the Yankees now. All right. So hey, good luck to you, man. Great meeting you.
It's been a pleasure.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're back.